So, folks, this is part two of the TGV Mental Health slash Mental Wellness Series, where we are discussing some of the less spoken but important topics related to mental health, ADHD, anxiety, depression, and comorbidities with Dr. Sharada Rao. Sharada Rao is a top corporate leader, an author, and an effective altruist in progress, and she has been a blogger regularly active on mental health related topics, especially on LinkedIn. And here is an early disclaimer related to the series. So, we aim to increase awareness, and there is no offense meant to anyone globally, no matter which part of the world that you belong to. And this is just to share empathy on how to overcome this condition, and hope this helps make a difference to many people's lives. So, as per an estimate, there are over 970 million people across the globe that are going through some or the other mental health issues. And this is our small effort, like a tiny drop in an ocean with just one aim: improving the awareness to silent people who experience mental health challenges alone. And today, as part of this series, we are going to cover topic number two: inattentive ADHD. And before we begin the topic, let me welcome you all. Hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. And we want to simplify and amplify your journey to success. I'm your host Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place by bringing you wisdom through valuable discussions with experts designed to simplify and amplify your success. And thank you so much for tuning in. And Dr. Sharda, welcome back to TGV. We have received a lot of positive response, positive feedback on episode 1 of this series, and excited to talk to you about the next topic, which is around inattentive ADHD. And first of all, thank you so much for curating this. And how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Hi, hello everyone. Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Salam Alaikum. I hope I said all of that right. But yeah, lots of love to all of you.
All right, wonderful. So let's begin today's topic, and we'll begin with the basic question: what is this inattentive ADHD all about?
Okay, so earlier in episode one, we spoke about hyperactive ADHD.
Yeah.
Inattentive ADHD is the exact opposite of hyperactive ADHD.
Mhm.
And inattentive ADHD, also known as ADD, it's a type of ADHD where the main symptoms are difficulty in paying attention and being very distractible and struggling to focus and being disorganized. You will see little to no hyperactive behavior actually.
Got it. And what are
So
the main symptoms of inattentive ADHD?
I think symptoms wise, learning from my ADHD community and my own research, executive dysfunction is the formal term for it. But how it manifests in daily life is people do a lot of, careless slips. I am hesitant to use the regular word, and they miss details, which means that they have very short attention span, and hence even while they are making their efficiency happen for a day to progress smoothly, they still miss details in the entire day, and that is one manifestation. Another major symptom is they get bored very easily, so they will completely tune you out, which means that, let's say, you're talking to them, they are looking at you, but mentally they've switched off, they've tuned you out,
Right.
and they'll be giving you the impression that they are in conversation with you with thumbs and ahs, but they've already broken eye contact, and these are indicators, like, typically this is what the way it's a symptom. And their listening skills are a little less than normal, and they are a little hesitant in even sharing their input, right? So which means that, let's say a conversation is happening, it can be family, it can be just a friendly meeting, it can be even at work. You will see largely they prefer silence,
Yeah.
right? Their body is leaning forward and then they are almost about to talk, but then they don't. So, For them, communication is in general, both in listening or in stating what they want to give as input. They have to overcome a little. It's a little harder for them. Is the easiest way I would put. They have trouble following instructions, which means you cannot start the day as a caregiver. This again comes from a very close peer in the ADHD care community, where if we start the day with a lot of things, like, like someone says, you need to do this, you need to do this, da 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 da, then they have already, like, they've started to internally have their brain turn off, right?
Mm.
So they have trouble following many instructions. So it's always easier to, if you're a parent or a friend or a co-worker or a caregiver, you need to start the day with minimal instructions, just one or two, right?
Yeah.
Let's leave for work, or let's have breakfast now, or collect your book bag, let's go to school. Like, just two instructions is the minimum I would advise. And they are disorganized, largely because their attention span is less, and they have time management issues as well. So this combines into a little bit of what the world refers to as disorganized. Again, no judgment here, absolutely, I'm referring, hashtag disclaimer, Naveen. So the definition is different for them. The way they have their room, or the way they have their desk, or their school, space, anything. So frequently the challenge they have is they lose important items, like
Yeah.
they might if it is a child, they might forget their crayons or their compass box to class, or they might forget their assignment at home, and they will have done it carefully, but they will have left it, on their own desk at home. These kind of things, right? They lose important items. Adult inattentive is where they lose their car keys, they misplace it, and so they have to regularly practice keeping it at a specific place. Take an item, keep it back at the same place.
Yeah.
That's a habit. Like,
Also, you mentioned this inattentive ADHD is opposite or on the other extreme of hyperactive ADHD, right? So, can you double click on that?
I think, like I said, they primarily have issues with focus and
Hmm.
organization,
Okay.
and easily distractible. Three things, right? Focus, organization of their day, or their work, and they're easily distracted. Which means, let's say if there is a person that you're working with. I can take a work example first here, and you have meetings in various rooms, right? So then a person with inattentive ADHD would find it difficult just to note which meeting room they have to go to, as an example. A simple thing, right? Or another example is they might forget where they parked their car. And so these are just two examples. Or they'll have excessive fidgeting in class if they're a child. They're fidgeting with and today there are a lot of devices medically as well to help them manage the restiveness, but they might have a little bit of ways in which this manifests.
Hmm. Got it. And what causes this inattentive ADHD? Is it by default or does it happen over a period of time? What's your take?
See, inattention, for inattentive ADHD, typically a mom notices. It's easy for a parent. I'm hesitant, I should say mom slash dad slash caregiver, notices at an early age. Um, Sometimes it is noticed during teenage, where the person may exhibit difficulty with running their day,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're losing track of things, or they're missing doing their assignments or work. If it is a child, they're having difficulty in fundamental things, like closing their book bag, right? Or just remembering which shoes to wear, or where their shoes are, that easily distractible. So these are ways in which hyperactive sorry, inattentive ADHD are visible. The exact symptoms are easily discernible. The exact causes, a lot of research is still going on.
And
Did I?
Yeah, please go ahead. So you
Yeah.
are saying something?
So the exact causes, like I said, a lot of research is ongoing with this, but one of the primary insights is that it is a genetic. It comes through genetics. So someone in the family has inattentive ADHD, and so then it carries forward, and that is one major, statistic, I would say, where the cause is it's a causal statistic. And the next one would be brain injuries. Let's say they've had a even at play, they might have had a basketball hit their head or something like that. Brain injuries like that, or they've had a fall. So sometimes then there is a little bit of impact that people may not immediately notice, but then it starts manifesting in the person. Then exposure to toxins is another major statistic, which is like, if they're living in areas where there's a lot of smog, or they're living near factories where they're inhaling toxins. And this might even be the mother who's working at a factory, let's say. And so during pregnancy, they've had. So this is another cause that people are exploring. And premature birth. So preemies are usually, much closer observed in terms of the scores that are taken for a baby, right? And ADHD, I would say, largely all these are being explored with the help of Gen AI, with the help of a lot of models. I'm sure that progress is uh, is imminent, and I'm very sure that there'll be a lot of innovation in this area for
Yeah.
support.
I think there is a lot of research happening, and especially with neurodiversity taking precedence and the center stage, right? I think everybody started focusing on these kind of things. And Sharda, can you also tell us how is this inattentive ADHD diagnosed?
So there are formal tests that are given, and if it is a child, then the parent gives the fills out the forms. But there are formal questionnaire and formal tests that are related to how a doctor will observe a person's behavior, how he will diagnose symptoms and take inputs, the standard questions that they ask. And at least six out of the nine known symptoms of inattention must be present for a person to be diagnosed as inattentive
Hmm.
ADHD, which means a physician would conclude that a person's attention span is severe enough to interfere with executive functioning, with daily functioning. So other conditions are ruled out, like, sometimes there are comorbidities with early autism. Sometimes there is a teenage comorbidity with hormonal changes, right? So everything is a combination, but I would say that physician will, be very precise and go in a methodical manner in which attention to symptoms are analyzed, and then only the diagnosis is given as this is inattentive ADHD.
And can you also shed some light on the treatment? How is inattentive ADHD treated?
A lot of treatment options are similar to other types of ADHD, be that hyperactive, be that combined of both inattentive and hyperactive, a combination. They begin early with therapy, and this could be CBT, this could be like just support therapy, like, for a person to understand things easier. Today in schools, there are mechanisms, different teaching therapies. There are ways in which social behavior is addressed and taught by parents. There are coping skills that are formally given as management strategies. So it begins with therapy. Begins with CBT, like I mentioned. Many mechanisms of CBT, and I have referred to a lot in the notes. I would request people to take that as input as well. And at corporations, there are accommodations that are made. So When a person is joining a small or large enterprise, regardless of size, if they have the gumption enough to come out and state that I have an ADHD condition, then accommodations are provided, special needs are taken care of in almost all environments. The last option is medication. And I'm not saying that medication will not work, but medication is strong. Inattentive ADHD is typically addressed with stimulants, and stimulants are often the most effective, and hence it is every other avenue is pursued before medication is prescribed. I think that's my input.
Wonderful. Thank you again for such amazing insights on one of the less spoken topics, which is inattentive ADHD. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and making this series. So
Okay.
have a great day.
If you permit me, I can probably add a little point. It might take a minute. I would say for someone with inattentive ADHD, what a normal day looks like, right? Normal day looks like they have gotten 8 hours of sleep, or at least 7 hours of sleep, and they have woken up on time. That means they have probably snoozed their alarm only once, and they're not thinking about whether they should shower, right? They are just directly doing it as habit or as muscle memory. They are like doing the regular activities like getting ready, right? Like brushing their hair or toothbrush activity, and then they're getting dressed without being prompted, or without getting into an paralysis mode about what should I wear, right? Without getting into that kind of a slowness around just getting ready. Then another way they have a normal day is they drive to work without a lot of prep, without having to rush. They know their navigation a little ahead of time. So spatial recognition is there. So then that is another way. Another way is where you find that they are very good at navigation, and their spatial functioning is extremely good, but then they're texting always, right? So there are two activities which are happening. So switching between tasks, if they are not doing that, then that's a normal day. Then they forget to eat and hydrate. So just hydrating on time, or setting timers, or using AI tools which will remind them to eat, and or having your snacks and big water bottle next to you. Simple, right? So simple things. And then not having a lot of substacks, which means it's a technical term, but not cramming their day, just having about a small post-it of 4 items, and then feeling happy at the end of the day that I was able to address two of these four. Like that's a win. It's a big win. So this is a normal day for inattentive ADHD person. And also communication, right?
Yeah.
If they have been able to communicate well, according to themselves, because they always they are self-analyzing. I should have said this instead of that. So if they are not doing that, and if they are able to say, what I did, okay, that okay, and the non-judgment of self is a very, very good sign. Then non-fatigue. If they have energy left at the end of the day, if they just don't drag, fall, put their book bag and just flop somewhere, that means they've already fatigued out, which means, the day is done.
Yeah.
And one needs to respect that. So these are other small points I can add as, normal things to look for in parentheses.
Sure. Thank you once again, and have a great rest of the day. And looking forward to rest of the topics.
Thank you again, Naveen, and I hope this is useful for all the people. Namaste.
Absolutely, it is going to make a huge impact in the coming days. And friends, that was our episode, the second episode, part of TGV Mental Health Series with Dr. Sharada Rao. And stay tuned for more topics. And before we wind up, we have a quick request. In case if you haven't already subscribed to TGV, please subscribe to the Guiding Voice podcast from wherever you have tuned in, because subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes. And also, if you have enjoyed the conversation and found it useful, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who also like TGV, the Guiding Voice. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. And that's it for today. We are not doing trivia and we are not doing any of the rapid fire rounds as part of this series only. And thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV family. And we would love to hear from you. So do not hesitate to share your ideas, feedback, topic recommendations, and most importantly, guest speaker suggestions either through our social media or you can also email us at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com, 4 as in digit 4 and you as in letter U. And let's create content that resonates with. I'm your host Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that simplify and amplify your life's success. And until next time, take care, stay inspired. Remember, the future holds great things because the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you on the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care.
My last input is please share to 3 groups. There are millions that we want to reach. It's a big vision, but share to 3 groups in your social media, and the circle will improve. And big hug before you go.
Sure. Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you.